Hey guys, how's it going? It's Saturday night. Right? Yeah, Saturday night. Yep. The reason I know that is because I went to Cobra this morning. Otherwise, the days just kind of blend. I was reading that book again today, and I read an interesting. It's not really a chapter, but a section of the book. It says "Talking Fast," and it says, "Live loud enough in your heart, and there is no need to speak." Okay. And the author has an interesting perspective. I'll read it. It's very different than my experience. And I'll talk about it and see what we can learn. And Bernie will chew on his chew toy. Hi, Bernie. So, this is not my me talking about myself. It's the author. So, the author says, "There was a time in my life during my years in college when I was so talkative that the waterfall of words kept others at a safe distance. Of course, in time, this cascade pushed others away. But what I didn't realize till much later was that I kept talking faster and louder to the world around me because I couldn't hear the world within me. Of course, the more noise I made, the less chance I had of having what was real enter me or rise from me. It became a damning cycle. So often, we mistake the need to hear with the need to be heard. All that talk was a way of reaching out to others with my heart. Ultimately, it was all based on the fear that if I didn't throw my heart out there, through endless words and gestures and questions, I would be left alone. It's taken me many years to learn that the world comes flooding in if I can only keep myself open. It remains important to reach out and to express oneself, but underneath that is the need to be porous and real. Through the opening heart, the world comes rushing in, the way oceans fill the smallest hole along the shore." I love that line, that's great. "It is the quietest sort of miracle. By simply being who we are, the world will come to fill us, to cleanse us, to baptize us again and again." So, yeah, the key thing here for me is we mistake the need to hear with the need to be heard. Unlike the author in this, I was quite the opposite. Still, fear was held me back from talking, from communicating, because I was afraid what people would think. In my mind, I was so different from everybody else that I could never be accepted because I didn't accept myself. That's the key right there. I didn't accept myself. So unlike the author, who was apparently very, very talkative and lots and lots, I know people like this, lots and lots of words, because they needed to be heard, they needed to be acknowledged, they needed that love. What I did is I needed it also, but I turned it around. I used it. I protected myself by convincing myself that I didn't need that. I didn't need to be loved. I didn't need to be cared for. I didn't need connection with humanity. And that identity served me for many, many years. So, interesting how the author has a different perspective, handles it differently. And I can't say handle it as unconsciously because neither he or I handled it consciously at the time. We just adapted. We adapted to our circumstances and what how we felt safe at the time. It's not until you realize that he apparently realized that he doesn't have to talk as much. He doesn't have to be reaching and needy to get that love by just over talking. And I realized that I don't have to be silent. I can talk. I can communicate. And I'm still safe. Because people aren't judging me. And if there are, it doesn't matter. And they probably aren't anyway. That's all in our heads when we think that, oh, people are judging me, I don't want to do this, and I'll be embarrassed. That's all in our head. Most people are so wrapped up in their own stuff, they could care less. They're more excited and inspired to see someone reach out and give their greatest gifts and go on the line, do something crazy, not even crazy, but just do something that they really love, to express their passion. And what that does is that opens the door for them to do the same. It gives them permission in many ways to do the same and follow in your footsteps. That's the definition of a leader, is someone who follows their own internal clock, their internal guidance mechanism, their feelings, and does what they really, really want to do and chooses to do. And it inspires people to follow him or her. Even just inspires them to follow their own heart because they see it in somebody else. And there's a prayer, I can't remember what it was. It was really, really well written. I don't know if it was a prayer, but it was like a saying. And when I first started to sing, I was afraid to be. I was afraid to, I thought I was showing off. I thought I was being, not pompous, but I thought I was I can't think of the word, but showing off, or just bragging about, I have a good voice and I can sing and that kind of thing. So I didn't really want to do it because of that. I was embarrassed because I didn't want to make others feel bad because they couldn't do what I was doing, or I assumed they couldn't do what I was doing. So it was huge judgment right there. I was judging them and I was judging myself. And one of the women I was singing with, Dot, Reiser, I think is her last name. She is a really good guitar player, and she has a really good voice, and she's put albums out. And she gave me a saying that's something like that. It was basically the idea of, when you express your greatest gifts, when you rise up, you bring others with you. You're an inspiration. It's not the other way around. And so you are helping people because they see you. It's not just you. They just see someone rising up. And it makes it believable so that they can do it as well, so that they can follow their dreams. So it's really, really important for us to express ourselves when it's necessary. Not necessary. When it feels right. When it's something that needs to be said, I would say. We're exposed with so much noise through the internet, through the radio, through the TV, through advertising, just through everything, that we're just overwhelmed with noise. And I, for one, choose not to just add more noise to the whole pile. So I'm very thoughtful about what I share what I try to help with people. And I think that's a good way to be for people. Instead of just blah, 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 I want to be heard, listen. Listen for what's out there already. Listen to other people's opinions, ideas, perspectives. And listening is when you're actually paying attention to what they're saying, letting it in, taking it in, not judging or already thinking about a response or already thinking about your opinion is better than their opinion, or here's the counter to what they're saying, or that's not listening. That's in your head. Listening is taking in what they say and just sitting with it. Just sitting with it. And for one, you'll find that opens up people tremendously to be more honest and authentic with you. I do a practice called dyads, and they're very simple in structure. It's just two people, in person or not, and they ask a question of the other person, and the person just says thank you and just acknowledges and feels whatever the other person was saying, and then they go back and forth. And it's amazing how this can open people up to communication and to feeling safe to be honest and authentic. So yeah, I kind of went about a long thing here. I don't know how I got where I got, but all this stuff needs to be said. But it kind of gets, what's my original point? My original point was that to open your heart, just be authentic. If you have something to say and you want to share it, share it. If you don't. But just don't be part of the noise. And like the author was talking about, let's see. When you do open your heart to the world, and what he's meaning by that, I believe, is when you open your heart is when you're authentic and honest and vulnerable. Brené Brown talks about this all the time, vulnerability. Being vulnerable is the most strong position you could ever be in. I'll say that again. When you're the most vulnerable that you can be, when you share everything, you have nothing to hide, then you are in the strongest position you ever could be. You are in absolute power. Do you know why? You have nothing to hide. If you're just honest with people and yourself, even more so, honest with yourself, and put it all out there, you have nothing to hide, nothing to fear. No, you can't fear to be found out about because you're out. You can't, you know what I mean? So vulnerability is a huge, huge asset. And it creates loving relationships, it creates friendships, it creates deep, intimate connection with other people, because other people will feel your vulnerability, feel the safety that you provide, and they will open up to you. And not even just a one-on-one, but just around you, you'll find. And your life will open up, and it will be amazing. I'm not going to use the word transformation, because I don't know if I debunked it, but I think a more appropriate word is evolution. A slow, gradual, incremental process with ups and downs, but a positive slope overall. Raising your vibrational energy level, raising your awareness, raising the love and joy and happiness, contentment in your life. Whether you're, so that's it. I am done. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And if you found this useful, let me know. Please put a comment that says, yes, this is useful, or no, you're full of bull poopy or something. And give me hearts, flowers. I don't drink coffee. Give me tea. And I will be back here again to talk about something similar, something that has come up during my day and something I want to share with you guys. So have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.